Hi Alex,
Hey.
it's nice to see you today, and it was nice to hear your seminar about how interior design is very important for the employees and for the people who are working in the closed environments. Can you tell a bit more about it?
Why it's important? I think that it's important because either way, whether you think about how the space affects your people or you don't think, it still does. It still has the effect. And if you haven't thought about how to make your workspace work for you, it can work against you and your values, and so you need to check up on that.
Most startups, they usually don't care about the space. They think that even the small desk, even because they don't have enough sufficient funds at the beginning, and they say the small desk or maybe a small corner will be enough for us. And from your opinion, should they care about this desk? Should they think about, should be the desk be a bit better, or should be this close to the window, or how this interior design influence the workflow?
Well, with startup founders, it's a little bit different because we'll always have bootstrapping, and the budget will always be as little as possible so that the startup can live for longer. But and therefore, as a founder, a person can see like the vision, what he will turn into after 5 years or 3 years, or when they get up the hockey stick. The small desk can be a symbol of me getting further for the founder of a startup. It becomes more important when you're talking about employees who are not as invested in the company as the founders or investors, but they come at 9 o'clock and leave at 6 or whatever their schedule is. And for them, it's more. They will not ever see the big picture that you have for your company after 5 or 10 years. They will not be ready to sacrifice themselves, and they shouldn't be. So for them, you have to make the effort of making their life comfortable. But if you are the startup founder, then still at one point you will start thinking about, okay, I'm burning out, or I'm spending too much time on this, or my back starts to hurt. This is when you start. It's not the first priority, but when it comes to that, simply there are some simple things that can be done in order for you to be kind of happier about your everyday.
Yeah. So as for the startup, actually, it's important just to have a desk, have a point, and there will not be pain in the back. But if we're talking about the scale up, the company, if it's going to be about more than 5, 10 or more employees, then entire environment is very important. Yes. And you said maybe the walls, maybe flowers, music. You give also examples with the Rammstein music in the entrance. And can you elaborate a bit?
I think that the most important things are ability to be focused without distractions.
Yeah, so that's number one is focus. So no distraction things like music. Is a distraction, or? For
some, yes, definitely. There are different kinds of professions. There are, let's say, the analytical professions that require you to go into this deep work state, and then you are not able to have any distraction at all. Not music, not people walking, not people whispering to each other. You need to stay in there. If it's routine tasks, it's better with music, and it's better that you are like relaxed and not really engaged in that. It's routine. It doesn't need your like.
Yeah, I saw actually in accounting companies like KPMG or other companies, there's usually focus, and you can feel the smell of brain, when you go to the companies. But if you go to some creative place, maybe co-working place, you always see that fun music going around, so you can feel about cheerful. You can create. So more creative company, they use this type of music maybe. But if about the accounting or more focus, they usually try to get it low. Yes. And
but it's also always about zoning. It's not a good idea to have music in the focus room, but it's a good idea to have it in the toilet, for example, or in the kitchen.
Yeah, in the cafes I usually have that. There was one also even. There was one cafe, and usually the music is so loud in the toilet, so maybe they made specially just for the special purposes.
When we were opening take-homes, we decided that we have to have music in the toilets. And then there was one member who came from UK, and he was deciding on which co-working space to go to. And when he walked out of the toilet, he was said that's no question about the choice, because this is the right way to go.
It works perfectly. Yeah, because I know one restaurant, a special one restaurant in Oslo. When you go to a restaurant, there is a toilet, and it's always high music there inside. So you know that purpose. So focus is important.
Focus, acoustics.
Yeah.
Lighting.
Acoustics. Okay. Lighting.
Lighting is well. First, it's access to daylight. Second, there are some studies that show that it's better to have like dispersed lighting and not very contrasty shadows. Then the person becomes more productive. Then I would say that next is access to nature. There's this thing called biophilia, and so this is fresh air,
flowers maybe.
Flowers, yeah, fresh air, low CO2, ventilation, temperature control might be also.
What's the perfect temperature, or not perfect, but the
22.5. Yeah, give or take 1 degree. It's individual, but 22.5 is the.
All right, so most productive, I would say.
Yeah. But the perception of the temperature is also different. If it's a rainy day outside, then the same temperature will appear colder than if it's sunny outside.
So the air conditioner should be usually in the summer. It should be like 22 degrees. That will be nice. Because in 20 it can be cold sometimes. Yeah. All right, that's interesting. And maybe you can give to conclude notes. What are the? You already told that 3 things we need to focus when we're working on the environment. And what do you also recommend for the big companies? Is it important to have open space or closed space? In the Scandinavian countries, it is open space is more preferable, but still in post-Soviet countries, they're using the office type of environment. And
I think that the closed spaces, the closed offices environment it does not really have a future. Especially if you talk about big companies, it's a question of cost efficiency. It's a question of communication efficiency, and my choice would be definitely for the open space, but keeping in mind that people need to concentrate and people need those areas where to do focused work without being disturbed. So there should be a mix of different zones.
I see that a lot. Again, we come back to Norway, Oslo. There is one street, and you're just walking down, and there is an office just on the ground floor. So you actually can walk and see in 1 meter the people working inside the office, and it's open space. You can see everything. Even you can read what they're writing, and it is. Some people say it's so transparent, and the people think it is very open, and for some people it's very difficult to work. But as for the productivity, from the point of view as an employee, is it good to have open space? Actually, it's the same question, but
is it good to have like a space on the ground floor so that everyone
yes,
sees
and
it?
be transparent and be.
I think that this kind of company will attract certain types of people. For example, if you know Gary Vee.
Sure.
He always is saying that if you are going to work for me, then you're going to be filmed 24/7.
That's very interesting.
Or you might be filmed. So if you have a problem with that, you're just not working there. And by choosing the office like this, a company is already giving out a message that we are as transparent as they get. And sometimes, in order to get this message along, the company will lose some of its staff, and so it's like a strategic choice whether we stay with the people who want to be old school and be old school with them, or decide to go this direction. Kind of.
Yes, thank you very much. It was nice to think, and we get three things that are important in the office. It's, as you say, focus, so no distraction. So it will be, maybe it's better to have not a lot of pictures and telephones, no distractions, like, and light should be good light. And
I would say, okay, focus,
light, and
biophilia, the access to nature.
if possible, access to nature, flowers, and the window, and the air. You said.
And
Yeah.
air.
Okay, thank you very much for your advice.
Thanks.
Thank you.